So you know those movies that are just so bad and so ridiculous that they actually end up being kind of good and kind of fun? Yeah, Tarot is not one of those. This one's just bad. So I'm late to the party on this one. Tarot came out this year in May and I actually missed this one in theaters. Thank God. Imagine spending $10 on a dog shit movie like this one. But then again, I have spent money on movies like Imaginary and Trap this year. So mistakes have been made, but you gotta get through the bad to get through the good, right? I'll just say I dodged a bullet on Tarot. Tarot came out on Netflix a bit ago, so I decided to give it a watch. This movie is essentially about a group of college-aged friends who rent out a mansion and end up finding these sketchy tarot cards in a basement. The lead, Haley, reads everybody's fortune, so to say, using the cards, and then all their fortunes come true, and they start getting picked off one by the supernatural beings based on their tarot card. First and foremost, I have to tell you guys, I have to be open about this. I am not into astrology or star signs or tarot or readings or zodiac signs. However, tarot cards and readings are the subject of pretty good propaganda, but I've never been into it. I can see how some people would like the concept of this if you do like that stuff, but because I never have, I was not into this one right from the start. However, since we are on the topic, I know you guys are dying to know my star sign. I am a Taurus, and unfortunately for me, the representative of the Taurus sign in this movie is such a Nimrod. But they do say, people that are really into this stuff do say that the April Taurus is different from the May Taurus. So he can be the May Taurus, I'll be the April Taurus. We can part ways and be happy about that. Anyways, I digress. We got to get into the many sins that this movie commits. So without further ado, let's get into Tarot and talk about it a bit.
Who's next?
So with the whole uprising of AI, there have been a lot of movies this year that have been accused of having such a bad script, so bad in fact that it seems to come straight from ChatGPT. Tarot is a prime example of this phenomenon, in my opinion. The script is generic, cliche, and just cringe. The character of Paxton, who is my Taurus representative, was done so dirty by ChatGPT. Let me tell you, this character is supposed to be unserious and funny, but boy, oh boy, ChatGPT still has not figured out how to land a joke successfully, so I can't be too hard on the actor here at this point, but I will say all of his dialogue is just super cringe. And so while the script does, of course, play a part here, the acting just is really bad as well, and I have to point that out, period. The first death that happens in this movie is a character named Elise, and the first sin that she commits, first and foremost, is she takes a bath in a community bathroom, seemingly a sorority or a dorm. Girl, yuck, stop it. Like, miss me with that. Then we get a plethora of conveniences and cliches that are just frustrating, like her being completely alone and isolated in a usually non-isolating place. And then she goes to check out what is going on by climbing a ladder to a sketchy attic under the premise that her friends are playing a joke on her. And the way she dies is pretty gruesome, but this movie decided to go with a classic PG-13 rating, so we don't even get to see any of the gore. Boo! First death, weak. The next death, Lucas. It's pretty predictable and anticlimactic. Again, you've got the character completely isolated in a place that is normally extremely populated, the train station. And he goes in a very Final Destination way. Second death, lame. The film, I will say, does an okay job of conveying the friends' emotions when they learn about Elise's death, but as soon as they hear about Lucas's, it's like they lose all emotion and become unnaturally chill given the circumstances. I found the way that the friends act and interact throughout the movie was very unnatural and pretty incoherent. Yeah, something's not adding up here. Moving on, the third death has to be the most annoying. One of the most important rules in horror, of course, is stick together. So, all the friends are in the car stops, and the friend who thinks that she is next starts to panic, gets out of the car, and bolts down an isolated dark street alone. What are you doing? Dumb. I think we all know where this is going. Cheese history. Third death, failure, yet again. Then, when you think this movie and the decision making couldn't get any dumber, my Taurus friend, Paxton, after 3 friends are dead, ends up being like, this is dumb. I'm just gonna walk home alone, in the dark, down an isolated road, where no one's here, because why? Because I want to die, presumably. Almost immediately, his tarot clown freak thing appears, and he runs into the police station where, guess what? It's completely isolated. again. And this dumb fuck decides to corner himself in an elevator, and we get a very Annabelle-like scene where the elevator opens and closes on the same floor over and over and over. Like, there's just nothing original, and even the clown Joker thing is just jovial. Like, it's not scary at all. It's not effective, at least for me. I just don't like it. So then the friends decide to go back to the mansion to destroy the tarot cards and are conveniently able to book the plays right then, that exact night. Because why? Anybody? Because why? I'll tell you. Because convenience is key in a terrible horror film. So then we get our fourth death, which is predictable as ever, a magic trick where the lady gets sawed in half. But again, we get no gore. Love that PG-13 rating. And there isn't even any good tension building here. There's really no good tension building in the whole movie. There are, yet again, more cliches, and guess what? Add cheap jump scares to the list. And then we are left with the two final characters, a classic case of one of them being the person who got them into the situation in the first place and was obviously set up to be one of the final people and the one to kind of end the situation that they're in. And the second, who is an insufferable dude who has been denying this whole tarot thing the whole entire time, who is the ex-boyfriend, of course, and just a bad actor. Just bad. So they end up beating the astrologer at her own game by reading her tarot cards. How Haley knows the astrologer's birthday in order to even do the reading beats me. And then there's this whole dialogue exchange where Haley tries to compare her mother dying of natural cause, like cancer, to the astrologer losing her child who was hung by adversaries, like, right in front of her eyes. I guess same, but different, but I just didn't like that part of the dialogue. It was cringe to me and unnecessary. Period. And here is the cherry on top. There's always something more. So then we find out that Paxton didn't actually die when he was stuck in the elevator, and that right as he was about to, someone, presumably his roommate, just opened the elevator, and the creature just, left. Piss poor explanation. I'm insulted. Simple as that. So guys, I'm done. This movie is full of cliches, plot gaps, terrible acting, terrible writing, terrible humor. You already know, this is a 1 out of 5 trash. This movie frustrates me, and I cannot apologize for being so harsh on it at this point. Because I don't like movies that insult my intelligence. Like, it's just so much that went on that just doesn't make sense, and I just don't like that. I'm done with it. I do not have time for you.
I do not have time for you!
So what do you guys think, though? Am I being unreasonable? Be honest. Let me know. And thank you for watching. Catch me next time. Peace.